Hello, NTHS advisors and members. We hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us in our first industry expert interview series that we're going to be launching over the next few weeks. Today, I'm honored to have a great friend and NTHS partner from NCCER, Dan Belcher. So, Dan, I'll let you introduce yourself to our members out there.
Thank you, Peyton, and thank you for letting me participate. And I am the Director of Workforce Development for NCCER, and we are the National Center for Construction Education and Research. And we've had a long standing relationship with NTHS, and we're very proud of what we're able to do with NTHS as far as our scholarship program that we have through them, as well as just the partnership and getting exposure to construction education all around the United States. So a little bit about NCCR. We are a 501c3 nonprofit education foundation that is the workforce development arm for the construction industry. So we certify and accredit programs to be able to deliver NCCR construction craft training, and that is delivered through a variety of resources, and that's through our online component, it is through our classroom component, and we do it in a variety of different settings, high school settings, high school CTE programs, community college programs, industry associations, contractors, large contractors, small contractors, industrial, commercial, as well as a variety of other areas. We cover 10 different specific areas with over 70 different crafts that we have training involved in. And we also have our Build Your Future, which is our recruiting and enhancement program, which is very successful, and we're excited to have that up and running too.
Yeah. Dan, you mentioned the word craft in there, and that's something I see a tremendous amount in your BYF publications. And as you talk about being a craft professional, would you, maybe for the folks out there that aren't familiar with that term, tell us a little bit about what a craft professional is and what that means in the construction industry?
Be happy to. So as NCCR has coined the term craft professional, we always look at all of the individuals that are involved in the construction industry, from the laborers and helpers all the way up to the journeymen and the masters of whatever craft they happen to be in, and then moving up into management. And so we always see that the craft, the actual trade, and we don't use the term trade anymore, we like to use the craft specific program that anybody happens to go in, whether they're a craft carpenter, electrician, welder, mason. We are just excited to be able to talk about that and show that they are truly professionals. And we know, especially in this point in time, that essential workers and construction is considered an essential workforce right now. So we are excited to have that opportunity to have those professionals out there on the job helping build America still as we're going through this crisis.
Yeah, that's such a great point, Dan. One of the things that I've always tried to emphasize is that when we think about professional attire, I've sat through I don't know how many workshops about what professional attire looks like, and the first picture that always comes up is someone in a suit and a tie. But when we think about our craft professionals and what that really means, that professional attire includes the hard hat, the tool belt, the work boots, right? So that elevating that perception of these folks in these crafts to that of professional status is so critical in this day and age.
It is, and even to understand the education level that goes along with that, as we look at the trends and technology usage and what is happening and trending in the industry right now. The amount of calculations, mathematical calculations that a very good pipe fitter does on a daily basis is the same calculations that an engineer is doing at the same time. So we look at that. We look at the use of drone technology. We look at the use of GPS technology when it comes to heavy equipment operations. So all of this changes, even the tools that are going to be utilized right now, whether they are battery operated and moving forward with the different types of technology to make things safer and lighter for those professionals on those jobs. Yes, it is true that, you know, they are wearing the hard hats and they're wearing their safety vests and they have their work boots on and their tool belts on, and that is the same uniform that that they have, that a fireman would put on, or a police officer, or a doctor or nurse would put on to be able to go to work.
Yeah, that's so as you're listening out there, when you see those folks that are on the front lines that are doing that essential work in construction right now, building infrastructure, keeping our businesses uh, going, be sure that we have that perception of professionalism. And Dan, thank you for the work that you've done through BYF. You've got some incredible resources on the Build Your Future website that can help folks understand what these craft professionals are doing, what's involved in the education levels to get there to help elevate that. Could you tell us a little bit about a little more about BYF and how they can access some of those resources?
Be happy to, Peyton. So, Build Your Future, or BYF, as we like as we refer to it, NCCR, is our recruiting and image enhancement campaign for the construction workforce. And so you can access it by going to byf.org. And on there, you will find a variety of different resources for teachers to be able to utilize, for students to be able to utilize, and even parents to understand what the value is that the construction craft labor workforce has to offer. One of the most sought after tools that we have from Build Your Future is actually our playing cards. So, very inspiring group of young professionals here at NCCR came up with the idea of creating a baseball card type recognition for the craft professionals. So, if you go to the BYF website, you'll be able to see all of those playing cards in a digital format, and it will have the individual in their protective equipment that they would use on the job site on the front, and it will actually on the back of the card will show what the average salary is for those craft professionals, and that's based upon our NCCR network. So these are 150 different contractors, associations that gave us what their
Mm.
average salaries are for these particular fields. So they may be higher than certain areas in the United States, but that's the average of
Mhm.
what we have from our network. And it'll also tell what the job responsibilities are and what is the educational requirement for somebody to be able to get into those programs. So a great tool, a great resource for teachers to be able to utilize to show what the construction industry
Mm.
has to offer. And it has a variety of different individuals on the front of those. So we've hit every race and gender that you could possibly think of to show that the construction industry is all encompassing. And that's truly what the industry is.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Dan. So, anyone that's sitting at home right now, whether you're a student, whether you're a teacher, if you're a student trying to figure out what your career opportunities are, those cards are a fantastic place to start and dive into that. And there's even the potential to find a network of employers through your Build Your Future website, right, Dan?
That is true. There is a potential to be able to do that, to find out where some jobs are located. We also have another area, which is actually our Construction Careers Pathways program.
Mm.
And on there is actually a connections map, is what we like to call it, which will have a it will show where a individual school is and what they are offering as far as construction craft training, and that will be indicated by a little school building. And there will be a hard hat also there that will show where contractors are around that school and who you could reach out to and what those contractors are willing to do for classes, whether they're coming in to be advisory board members, whether they are going to be able to do career days. They can offer internships, externships. They can help with supplies for the school. So it's an opportunity to reach out and figure out, is this a great fit for you and the contractor? So it's just a matter of picking up the phone and calling. Also on that, you'll be able to soon see all of the NTHS chapters that are around the United States. You can also find out who the Skills USA state director is and who is the Associated for Career and Technical Education contact for that state. So it's a great opportunity, a great map, and a great tool for instructors to take advantage of.
Yeah, such a fantastic resource. And as instructors are looking for things to do to help keep students engaged now, I imagine just like we're doing on a Zoom call right now, they could probably reach out to some contractors and maybe even have a virtual interview with a contractor to have that industry experience and engagement virtually in the classroom.
They probably could. I mean, it'd be a great opportunity right now. There are a lot of people that are doing the exact same thing that we're doing, talking to each other and explaining how we can help each other. And this is a great opportunity to reach out to some of those contractors at this time.
And Dan, talking about those contractors and knowing that this pandemic has impacted just about every sector of the American economy, what are you seeing in construction? Is it slowing down? Is it ramping up? How's this affecting it? And what does it look like on the other side of this?
Well, Peyton, as we move forward and we go through the crisis right now, we will come out of this at some point in time, and we will see an influx of construction related projects that will be continuing. A lot of them have been shut down for the time being, but they will ramp back up as the economy goes. There will be more money funded into infrastructure. So we will see a big boom in highway, bridge, road work that will take place all across the United States. We will also see the regular commercial contractors, those that are building shopping malls, commercial type buildings. That construction will continue, and it will continue to move forward. Every town right now has tower cranes. Any large city has tower cranes in it, and they are still building those buildings. And so just look at this as a little slowdown, but we will see an uptick as we come out of this.
I know I was just talking to a friend of mine that is a superintendent for a commercial contracting crew, and they're running wide open right now because a lot of their um, customers are shopping centers and things that have been deemed non-essential that are now able to get the facelifts that they've been planning and trying to work in during late night hours and early morning hours when the facilities are closed. So they're hitting on all cylinders trying to knock out these projects that'll help other businesses be able to ramp up and get going again.
And that's a good segue, Peyton, is that, the fact that we talk about the construction industry, and the construction industry is 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And it is a process that everything is on a schedule. So we have to keep up with those schedules and make sure that we have the crews and the manpower there to be able to make sure all those jobs are being completed.
And we think about the cruise, and you mentioned it when you were talking about the trading cards that's on the Build Your Future website. Talk to me about just the wide swath of different career opportunities that exist on a single construction site. Because I know in conversations with most people, they have one image of what someone in construction is, and there's hundreds of jobs that exist on a construction site.
Yeah, it's, most people think of the construction industry as those individuals that are working on their tools, and those are the people that are really building America as we go along. But there are also other people that are involved with these projects. You're just seeing the construction side of what's going on that particular little project, or you're going to have helpers and laborers, and you're going to have the craft professionals that are building. You're also going to have superintendents and foremen that are out there making sure the job is moving along as it should. But then you also go back and look at the home office of where those contracts and where those contractors work, where they have accounting, they have logistics, they have HR individuals. So as everybody thinks of the construction industry of just being on their tools, you have to think of this as a much larger way for people to get into the industry. If you're taking a business class right now, there is the opportunity to get into the business and finance section. If you are in a engineering program, there is the opportunity to be an architect or a design engineer on certain projects. And so all of these people work together to make sure that these projects run successfully and they come in on time and under budget.
Yeah, it's so important. And thank you for mentioning that, Dan, because one of the things I always try to encourage students every time I chat with them is, even if they're on a particular trade program, say that they're going through a business program, but they do have an interest in construction and may not plan on being a carpenter or a welder. If they've got the opportunity to take those classes while they're in high school or college, or the chance to engage in that at all, even if they're on a business path, it makes them so much more capable in that position of having an understanding of the industry, not just a passion for the industry, but an understanding of it and how it works. So always encouraging folks to take as many different programs as you can to get those hands-on skills, because I one of the big drivers for me when I went to high school, I wanted to take a masonry class because I'd seen my dad build his house literally with his own two hands. He put every board, drove every nail, he did it all. And I wanted to be able to do that myself. So just in being able to take care of my own home, I got really excited early on and wanting to learn as much as I could about the construction trades, because it was important to me as an individual and for my own self sustenance.
Mhm. And that's a good point. Is the simple fact that you may be taking a carpentry class or an electrical class right now in high school as your elective program, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going into the industry. But you are going to be able to have a trade or a skill that will last you a long time, so that when
Mhm.
you're able to work around your house to be able to repair the small electrical issues that you have, and you can do some basic carpentry work, and you can do some basic masonry work. It really is a sign of self pride that you have, and you're able
Mhm.
to really go forward and make sure that you can sort of pass that along to your own kids, to say that this is something I learned, and maybe you should look after this as a possibility. Maybe not a career, but at least you can be self-sufficient, be able to do some things for yourself.
And it creates such a stronger appreciation every time you go out into the world. I wish there was an opportunity to have every student go through a carpentry, a masonry, an electrical class, no matter what trade they were going into, or what path they were pursuing, because it just gives such a richer understanding about what it takes to build the infrastructure that runs our economy. Because that construction really is the backbone of business around the world.
Mhm. It is, and a gentleman who was on our board of directors, who was the president of Sunk Construction, Doug Pruitt. He spoke at Skills USA, I believe it was 3 years ago, and was talking about life without a craft professional. And he said that if you woke up this morning in a house and you turned on the turned on your light, that house was wired by a craft professional. The facility that generated the electricity was built by craft professionals. You get into a car or an automobile that was built by a craft professional. And it is the opportunity to understand that without craft professionals, there really is no way that the world could run. And so it's very, very important, very powerful, and something to make people think about that.
Yeah, that's so spot on, Dan. And as we're thinking about keeping the world running, we're going to continue to need these craft professionals in the future. And career and technical education courses, that's where our craft professionals are built. So things have changed a lot in the last couple of months with how education operates. Talk to me a little bit about what you see the future of career and technical education being as it relates to the construction industry, and maybe adapting at how we're instructing our students and getting them engaged in the craft professions.
Yes, Peyton, it's going to be an interesting time right now. I believe we're seeing this evolution of bringing in technology into the classrooms. I believe everybody is going to have to be able to be adaptive to what does technology look like for my particular subject matter that I'm teaching. I think that the idea of artificial intelligence, virtual reality, will start playing a bigger aspect in what we're doing. I think more companies will start looking at how to incorporate that into the training that they're doing. I believe that a lot of the manufacturers that are out there will be able to help convert some of their actual practical hands-on programs to virtual training. Now, the virtual training is fantastic to be able to get students to understand concepts. Actually, being able to weld in a welding booth is a totally different aspect than doing it virtually. but the same concepts are going to be learned from students. So, as we start looking at this, and this is the same for any CTE program, not just construction, but if we look at health science, we look at culinary arts, we look at automotive technology. All of these programs right now are in the same flux of uncertainty of what is going to happen in this idea of the virtual world and the hands-on component, which is what CTE is so important about doing, is being able to do the hands-on, make sure that students understand how to do that, as well as the knowledge portion that comes along with it. So I also believe that even through instructor certifications, I believe that there will be a change in the way that formalized teaching is being delivered through either alternative certification or standard traditional certification for teachers, to bring this idea of a virtual or enhanced classroom and have that be part of some new training.
That fantastic. And you all at NCCR have been working on getting some resources out and making some of those opportunities that are typically available just in the classroom virtual recently, right? Maybe tell us a little bit about what you're doing to help your current instructors adapt.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things, so we've done a couple things. So through our publishing partner, Pearson, we have been able to deliver and offer our craft curriculum on a digital platform for instructors to be able to use virtually. And so that has been a very big blessing that we've been able to receive from Pearson to help out. But NCCR has also been able to roll out a remote proctoring program for our online testing system. Very well received, and we are seeing an uptick in that movement as we go across. But we also have on our website some virtual resources that have been made available through some of our partners, such as Stanley Black & Decker and DeWalt, Miller Electric, Association for Career and Technical Education. And so those are available. We also have a LinkedIn form for instructors to share some of their best practices. So as they are delivering these trainings and they are delivering classroom instruction, as they find out this is what's working good for me, we'd love for individuals to be able to share that so that we can have that network of best practices for people to go back and look at.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Dan. And for those of you that are watching, we'll have links to all those resources down in the comments and description section. So you can feel free to check those out, explore them, see if it's something you can use as you're working with students virtually, or students, if you're sitting at home wondering what you can do to sharpen your skill sets, there's some great opportunities sitting there for you. Well, Dan, thank you for taking the time to come in and chat with us a little bit today. I know you guys are running wide open and trying to help make sure instructors and students have the resources they need. I just want to say thank you on behalf of National Technical Honor Society for your partnership, for your belief in engaging that next generation of craft professionals, and not just engaging, but supporting them. Dan mentioned earlier the Build Your Future Scholarship that NCCER and BYF supports through NTHS, that's available to our NTHS members who want to pursue a craft profession in the construction trades. So our application for window for that just closed, and we've got 5 nominees that have been selected that'll be released on May 1st. So we'll be releasing those names, but that scholarship will roll around again next year, and it's 5 $2,000 scholarships to help pursue a career in the craft profession. So Dan, thank you for your support with that. And any final comments for folks before we log off here?
No, Peyton, we just appreciate NTHS and what they're doing. And we just want everybody to be able to stay safe during this crisis that we have right now. And just let everybody know that we will be coming through this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And NCCR is here to support you in anything that you need. Feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to support you any way that we can.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan. We appreciate it. And if anyone has any questions or would like any more information about NCCR or their programs, check out the comments and the links below, or feel free to reach out to me directly. Thank you for stopping in, NTHS members and advisors. We hope you're staying safe, staying healthy, and look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much.